It's a clash of styles in the desert between FC Tucson and the Chattanooga Red Wolves here on the nightcap of tonight's Saturday action in USL League One. Hello everyone, my name is Mark Schoenster, and I'm happy that you're joining me here today on ESPN Plus to watch this matchup. It's two philosophies that are kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum in regards to how they look to win games. You've got the very energetic, spirited Red Wolves, and then the tactical FC Tucson. Now let's take a look at what's important about this game. Let's like the standings here. Right dead middle of the table, the Red Wolves and FC Tucson. Both coaches have already circled this game and have said that it is of utmost importance when it comes to getting in the swing of things for this next stretch of games, or really in the meat of the League One season now, the June-July stretch where you really start trying to find your form, and a trip to Arizona or a home win could be big for either of these sides. Now let's start taking a look at the two players that we want to highlight in today's game. First off, on Tucson's side, Giovanni Calixto, a guy who's usually on the assisting end of goals this season, at least for FC Tucson. Finally got one into the back of the net last week against FC Toronto 2, or Toronto FC 2. Nodding it on, just a wonderful header in a sea of bodies, but he's deadly both in the providing aspect and the scoring aspect. Now let's take a look at someone who maybe we don't have as much familiarity with, at least in League One. Ray Ortiz just pulled into Chattanooga on June 3rd. I got an appearance just days later against Tormenta, and now is getting a start under 2 weeks into his stint here in Chattanooga. But Jimmy Obleda, all the players have worked with him before, are comfortable with him, and so it's not really a matter of a brand new face in a new location. He's just got to get used to the tactical side of things. But with that, though, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we have got the starting 11 for both sides, opening kickoff, and the first 45 right here on ESPN+.
Let's be honest, the world has changed. Everything is done a little differently now. But what hasn't changed is the time that you spend with us is still amazing. And even though things have been tough, we're here to help you unwind. Sheraton Tucson, showing you that the good times are back. We can't wait to see you. So get ready. It's time to check in.
Isn't a bank ad, so we don't need to show you vague community stock footage. We can show you places you know and call home because we call them home too. When you manage your money with a credit union, you're taking true ownership of your finances and how your money impacts the community. Stop letting banking just happen to you. Bring your money home to Vantage West.
And we're back at Keno Sports Complex at Keno North Stadium for Pride Night in Tucson, Arizona. It's FC Tucson, their second straight home affair, this time against the Chattanooga Red Wolves. I'm Mark Schoenster here, calling the action for you as we watch Karen Collado walk to the center field. Let's take a look at some of the lineups going on here. FC Tucson up first. They have to keep shuffling up some things due to some injuries, suspensions, but worth highlighting, the top three, Calixto, Shaq Adams, and Derek Korf, all have goals this season. And then you've got the Fox-Knox pair down at the bottom right. Alex Knox just getting his second start of the season, so we'll have to see how he fares as far as that goes. Now let's take a peek at what Chattanooga is doing, having to fly across the country from Tennessee over to Arizona, as we take a look at what Chattanooga is doing now on our screen. Obviously, Ray Ortiz, we mentioned in the intro, number 44, will be playing in midfield. He got to play 23 minutes against Tormenta last weekend. Outside of that, you've got Espana and Frischnick up top. Don't really have a number 9 out of the two of them as far as just one sole goal scorer. They're trying to find that sort of number 9 player between the two of them. But outside of that, you've got a pretty sturdy midfield that is consistent and have been playing a lot of games. And the back four that are all pretty consistent as far as minutes are concerned. Those lineups brought to you by Right Shore. You can hear the "it's hot but we don't care" from the PA. It's quite hot right now. It's 104 degrees, so that's quite the warm temperature here in Arizona. But as we await for the players to take the pitch and get everything ready, the heat's definitely something that especially Jimmy Obleda has looked out for. Obviously, not a heat they've really had to deal with yet in Tennessee on the pitch. And I also have to get used to that dry desert heat as opposed to it being a little more humid over on the East Coast. Our head official tonight, Karen Collado, will be the one dictating the field and making sure that things go smoothly. And we are underway. 90 minutes of two teams with contrasting styles and runs of play. It's Tucson and Chattanooga here on ESPN+. FC Tucson, a much more tactical side out of the two of them, much more passive and let the game flow and run with them. Meanwhile, Chattanooga, a very spirited, energetic side that really like to show their passion on the pitch. And it'll be interesting to see which of the two can really take over the energy of this game and how things pan out. Both coaches rather fond of their opponent in regards to thinking that they can inflict their team's will on this game. So both sides going in thinking that they can dictate the pace of the game. As we talked about a little bit in pregame, we looked at the standings. FC Tucson head coach John Gallus said that this is a massive 6-point swing for us. We are on the right track here, and this is a big game in dictating form for the next chunk of the season. And he also mentioned that if they're able to win this game, that would be 10 of 12 points in their last 4 matches, which would be huge for them. Especially since what seems to be the marker of a change of tides, that 5-1 loss to Fort Lauderdale. Ever since then, they've really been able to fix things up and get themselves going in the right way after changing a couple things, which is definitely something John Gallus is capable of doing. And they're also looking for that first home win of the season. They've got 2 draws thus far with Madison and then Toronto FC2 just last weekend. We got the Chattanooga Red Wolves, the visiting teams in white, FC Tucson in black. That's Ricky Ruiz they were looking for on that play, and then Lapsley's clearance is not too great, and Ortiz will pick it up. There's Ortiz right now. First time we've really gotten to see him on the ball, and he'll win a corner for Chattanooga. First set piece opportunity for either side. And Ricky Ruiz will make his way over there to see if he can swing this one in and create an early threat on goal for the Red Wolves. This corner kick is a Nova Home Loans corner kick. Here's Ricky Ruiz. Swings this one in, knocked away. Couldn't connect with the Chattanooga head, but they might be able to collect this one. And I'll get lobbed forward. Here's Shaq Adams. He's got speed. Could definitely hurt you on a counterattack like this. Shaq Adams into the 18, fires a shot into the hands of Sebastian Moramora. 23-year-old goalkeeper. And now let's take a look at that one again. And you got to be careful about that. Shaq Adams has got some wicked pace to him. And it's even something Obleda acknowledged when we talked to him this week, that Adams in particular is a guy who can really hurt you on the counterattack. So you got to be worried about that. Now you've already allowed one of those chances just 3.5 minutes into the affair. And on the topic of Jimmy Obleda, they suffered, the Red Wolves that is, their first loss of the season just last weekend, but here's Villalobos. Over to Espana. He's inside of the 18, but he's double-teamed now. He'll kick it back out to Villalobos. And his swinging ball will just go off the knees of Alex Knox. Jimmy Obleda said that after suffering their first loss last weekend in Statesboro, that they needed to redeem themselves on this road trip. He said, let's make things right, and let's get some points here. That throw-in won't come to any dangerous fruition, but Chattanooga will withhold position, rather precariously here. Center back Jason Ramos almost losing it to Calixtro. Got to be careful about that. Once again, you don't want to give up too many opportunities on the counterattack. Here's Villalobos. He'll lose it. Here's Jose Correa Garcia, one of the composers, as it were, of this Chattanooga Red Wolves midfield. Just one of those guys who has to be a gear that connects with several aspects of the team. Hold on to possession here, which is definitely something they've been looking for, and was kind of their key to the game. The Red Wolves side is they wanted to really win that possession battle and dictate the pace of the game. And they're doing so here for this first little span. Here's Frischnick. He'll kick it out to Ortiz. He'll lay it off. Ricketts. Fruitless cross. Knocked off of Derry Korf, the striker, and then they'll get a little tangled up. The ref says play on. Back inside, and now just hover over the head of Espana, just not quite the cross that was connecting. And Wallace Lapsley, the keeper, will take a goal kick. And there's Ray Ortiz there. The newcomer for this Chattanooga side, but definitely not a guy who is unfamiliar with the USL, has spent a lot of time in the championship level, so coming to USL League One, bringing a wealth of experience at 24 years old. He's a guy that Obleda really likes, and I mean, you could tell how excited they were to get him on. June 3rd, he was added on a Thursday. 2 days later in Statesboro, he came in and played 23 minutes, just 2 days after officially being added to the team. And here's Chattanooga. Jose Correa Garcia trying to weave his way down, but he can't get past Danny Bedoya. Now we're going to get another goal kick. Oh, a little clippy here and there, but sometimes that's just what's going to happen when you try to dribble your way through the middle of the pitch, right in the heart of those defensive midfielders and the center backs. All right, now it's been a stretch of possession for the Chattanooga Red Wolves, and that's not something John Gallas is going to like to see early, especially after how they were able to improve on their possession drought last Saturday against Toronto, because in the few games prior to that, they really gave up possession in order to be more careful. Here's Frischnick, though. He fires a shot that's just going to be deflected upward and out. Danger's not over yet. Good touch from Espana. Frischnick again. Villalobos tees it out. They're going to switch it around to the right side. Now Ortiz working on Frankie. Tees it inside. Frischnick with the header. Villalobos, it's saved by Lapsley. It's still being jumbled around. Someone could finish it off. Espana with the shot, and it's going to be headed off the line by Dakota Barnathan. Tucson holding on by the skin of their teeth. Danger for Chattanooga trying to create a goal here. Ray Ortiz teeing this in. Frischnick got ahead on it, went over to Villalobos. Wonderful save from Lapsley. And it just gets coughed around a couple times, and then Espana tries to curl it over to the right side, and Dakota Barnathan is there, the captain, able to keep this level. An exciting start for Chattanooga. Tucson nowhere to be seen on the attacking half of the pitch outside of one counterattack. See if they can create something here with the back line a little further into their own pitch, but Chattanooga immediately is able to move it forward and draw a foul for a free kick. But this is not the start that John Gallus and Tucson were looking for, especially after building up some possession last game as we get our first yellow of the game. Jordan Penna getting his first of the season with that foul. Take a look at that, and that's just no ball inside of that, and just kind of knee checked Ricky Ruiz there. And Tucson will have to bunker down once again. Wait for what Ricky Ruiz can do from over here. Already had a corner kick, and now is going to swing in this free kick from well beyond the 18. Oh, Frischnick just couldn't quite get high enough. He sprung to get to that ball, but it was just a little too far over his head. And we'll get another goal kick. We see Wallace Lapsley already has had been asked to do some work here in the first 10 minutes of the affair. And although FC Tucson are without a win yet at home, they also haven't lost, just 2 draws like I mentioned earlier. They would have loved to get a win last weekend against Toronto, but it's also tough to beat a team twice in such a short window because they played FC Tucson and then played them again a week and a half later as we get our first yellow card for the Red Wolves here. Jonathan Ricketts getting his second of the season. That yellow card is brought to you by Vantage West. And now we'll get a FC Tucson free kick here. You gotta create some possession here. They did really good about it last week, just possessing the ball on the opposing half. Meanwhile, when it comes to Chattanooga, it's been less about possession and more about doing good things with that possession. Let's see what Tucson can do with the ball, and they're going to have to go right back to their back line. Barnathan with the ball. His headers kept this game at zeros up to this point. Alex Knox now, bring it over to the right side. Shaq Adams on it. Gets a little tripped up, but should win himself a corner kick. This corner kick brought to you by Nova Home Loans. It'll be Tucson's first corner of the matchup. It'll be Danny Bedoya, the one on it. He got an assist just last week off of a corner kick, giving it to Giovanni Calixtro. And it was a prompt response after going down the goal against Toronto. Let's see if Bedoya can recreate that cross here. It's a good one, but there's no one there for it, just underneath the penalty spot. Now it's over to the left side. And that one will be knocked away for another throw in here. That'll be for Chattanooga. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Now for Chattanooga this week, after suffering their first loss of the season, they've really been focusing on creating clearer chances and putting themselves in better places in that attacking third. Jimmy Obleda said that they've dominated the run of play, but in the end, the only stat that matters, or the only two stats that matters, are goals scored and goals conceded. And so even though they really maybe dominated the stat sheet in every other regard against Tormenta, the fact of the matter is they came away without a goal and without any points. And so they've really been focusing on that. Ricketts with the low pass inside for Frischnick almost got to him. But it does get corralled by Lapsley before he can get his foot on it. Well, we've seen it so far in this game and can confirm Tucson head coach John Gallus's assessment of Chattanooga as Navarro wins the ball back before the whistle is blown. Just a little too much physicality there. But John Gallus said this of Chattanooga. He said that they're efficient and spirited. They're very clinical at scoring. They're scrappy, great at picking up second balls, and they're vertical and full of flair. And he can attribute a lot of that to just the kind of guys that Jimmy Obleda picks up. And he says that he's got them all rallied and energized and ready to go, and we've seen it in the first 15. So far, the passive tactics versus the aggressive energy of Chattanooga, it's in favor of the visiting Red Wolves as Korf gets this ball, given away carelessly by the back line for Chattanooga. And then respectively, Jimmy Obleda talking about FC Tucson. He said that they like the space that they could take versus Tucson, and he said that they let you play your game. But with that being said, they have to respect guys like Shaq Adams, which they've already seen. He says that they can be deadly on the counterattack, so they can't be careless. Here's Espana. Tees it inside, but doesn't quite have the arc necessary to connect with either of Frischnick or Villalobos. Jimmy Obleda, head coach of the Red Wolves, said that they do need to be especially careful about those counterattacks because that's where the Red Wolves have conceded in previous games. Hasn't necessarily been in build up and run of play, but when they give the ball away, when they're thinking aggressive and caught off guard, and some guys who are really good in one-on-one situations have been able to beat a defender one-on-one and get a shot on goal that has maybe broken or goes against the run of possession or the statistical battle that Obleda talks about, or maybe they've been dominating in every other facet, but of course the goals are what matter. A couple of shoves and pushes there, and Calixto getting a little shove from behind. That'll warrant a foul on the striker. As Karen Collado tries to get his attention and give him a warning. Got a couple of yellow cards early in this affair. Head official today not going to let anything slide even in the early goings of this match. Good little ball from Ortiz, setting up Ricketts. Coming all the way up the pitch. It's two wing backs against each other. Or full backs, as it were. Proper term. Jonathan Ricketts on Noah Frankie. And we're going to get another corner kick here. The assistant official calling it in favor of the Red Wolves, and we'll see if Ricky Ruiz can do anything with this one. No one really going close to the six. They're all going to start around the penalty area and run in. Maybe they've got something else cheeky crafted up. Ortiz making his way over to the ball. Ruiz curls this in. It's a little low. It's not able to get past the first man. But like the first 19 minutes of this game have been, Chattanooga will win the ball right back. Visiting side imposing their will so far in this affair. There's Espana now. Josue Espana had a crazy stretch 2 games where he came in and scored 3 goals in those 2. Hasn't gone back on the score sheet in the past few weekends, but doesn't change the fact that he's got that goal-scoring threat. Now Bedoya with some space. Good little step there to shake off Villalobos for now. Adams does well for a moment there, and then it's not able to keep hold of possession. It'll be Chattanooga ball. I briefly mentioned it as we came back from break. It is Pride Night tonight in FC Tucson, your Keno North Stadium. It started festivities at 6 p.m. local time, and had some music from Tonight's Sunshine, and they also spent time honoring Natalie Perry for her 40 years of activism and support of Tucson's LGBTQ+ community. And that's not 40 years done, that's 40 years plus. She's continuing that all the way to this day, and so well done on her part. Navarro will send this forward. There's no one over there in the left corner. Frischnick chases after it, but it's just going to be a goal kick. If you want to get in on the action, you still have time to get season tickets for the 2021 season. Visit fctucson.com/tickets to secure your seats. Of course, Keno North Stadium, no capacity caps anymore. Come one, come all. Just hapless so far in the middle of the pitch for FC Tucson. Ortiz and the Red Wolves just dominating in that regard. Knox back to Udenbeck, like I mentioned earlier. Knox, just his second start of the season playing over at the right back position. Just nothing there on that switch of the pitch. Some extracurriculars right in front of the 4th official. Ray Ortiz and Noah Frankie. Just some chippiness here as these two sides go out to see John Gallus trying to make sense of it right by the action. Just a little cheeky shove there from Ray Ortiz. And then Frankie going down. Been a couple of clips and pushes here and there in this game, and already some early cards, but we'll see how the rest of this game pans out. Ruiz over to Villalobos. He's got some space. He gives it to his left. Espana. Espana one-on-one. Tries to cut left, but that's well done. To keep it off, that looks like it was Kalen Fox coming in. No, it's Alex Knox. the Indianapolis, Indiana. Alex Fox is where he's from. And spent his collegiate time at Wake Forest and UCLA, so 2 Power 5 schools. He does well there to keep Josue España from getting a chance to just take a step and shot. Dakota Barnathan now. Feints several times, looking to find the best outlet. Here's a run going forward. Calixtro can't get past Ramos. It does fall to Frankie before it's tapped away. And now we're going to get a foul on Jordan Penna. And he's got to be careful. He's already on a yellow, just knocking over Ricky Ruiz there. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forward-forever-proud. Look there at the visiting head coach, Jimmy Obleda. Always an animated character on the sideline. Just a guy who really loves the game, and his players reflect that same kind of enthusiasm on the pitch, and it's shown here in the first 25. I can continue to repeat myself, but it's been a Chattanooga affair. Danny Bedoya is able to win a throw in the attacking half, though. Bedoya, an inventive passer, finds Knox, but just too far ahead of him, and it will roll out for a harmless goal kick for the visiting side. And although the visiting side, Chattanooga, you may have heard it once or twice already in this game, but some of these decent plays by the Red Wolves on the attacking half have been met with some cheering, and you would think it's pretty far away from Chattanooga, Tennessee. You wouldn't expect too many fans to be here, as Calixtro almost forces a terrible error from Mora Mora. It's a dangerous little moment. And here come the Red Wolves. Running the other way, Ortiz collide with Barnathan. I think that was a clean challenge from the skipper. That one, not so much. Frischnick using his size and knocking over the defender. I'm going to go back for this free kick. But let's take a look at that little exchange there. A harmless pass back to Mora Mora, but Calixtro's right there. It's a dangerous spot for a keeper to be in, and especially for a side that's been on the upper hand. Be a careless goal to give away. As I was mentioning earlier, you might have heard it right on the transition. There's quite the contingent here today in support of the visiting Red Wolves. Frankie now crosses it inside, and it'll go off the chest of Ramos, and he's not able to collect it. It will be a home kick, or a home corner kick for FC Tucson, brought to you by Nova Home Loans.
On FC Tucson fans, make some noise for the Nova Home Loans corner kick.
Here's some. They're going to quickly take it. They've teed it inside. Sputters around and into the hands of Sebastian Moa. Really nothing to come of that. Tried to catch them off guard, but in the end, it just wasn't quite there. But a lot of this Chattanooga roster is composed of players from the West Coast. So in this case, if you're from the West Coast and you're rooting on a team from Tennessee, you don't have a lot of chances to drive somewhere nearby and watch them play. Tucson, kind of the closest place for a lot of these families and friends who want to see their friends, their relatives play for the Red Wolves. And so this is kind of their chance to come and see them. So there's quite the contingent down here as this ball gets given away by Villalobos. Villalobos is inside. He fires a shot. That's a wonderful knock away from Lapsley, but danger is not over. Frischnick, back to Ruiz! Ricky Ruiz gets his second goal of the season. That's a wonderful shot. Getting the rebound, teed back over to him, and he keeps it low, and he gives it a high amount of pace. Let's take a look at this one again. Knocked away there by Lapsley. Villalobos knows that it's not over yet. And then Ruiz gets it, top of the 18, and just rifles it. Bottom right corner. Lapsley couldn't get there in time. And the Red Wolves have earned themselves a 1-0 lead on the road. Ricky Ruiz has played every minute this season, notches his second goal of the year, and he's one of those players that comes from California, Lake Elsinore to be exact. And a well-deserved lead for the Red Wolves. They've been on the upper hand so far, and that's a clinical finish from the midfielder. Tucson were able to respond last go around when they were against Toronto FC2 just last week. About 3 or 4 minutes after they went down, they were able to score off the corner. We'll see if that resiliency continues, but this is a dangerous little slip up. Ricky Ruiz is on it again, and he gets knocked over by Bedoya, and that's a frustration foul if I've ever seen one. Loses the ball and throws an elbow into the back of Ruiz. And Bedoya is going to get a yellow card here, his second of the season. Ruiz is going down, just scored a goal, and then takes a violent little attack from behind. And now this is dangerous free kick territory, as Ruiz is still on his knees.
Vantage West yellow card issued to FC Tucson.
Yeah, Bedoya just losing the ball. There's a little frustration on his part, losing it in such a vulnerable spot. You can see 4 Chattanooga guys all in a fleet coming towards goal. So although maybe you don't like to see the yellow card come out, might have been a smart foul at the end of the day, because that spelled crisis for that Tucson back line. Some discussing, pardon me, and some planning between Frischnick, Carrera Garcia, and Ricky Ruiz. What do you do with this free kick here? If you've got someone who can really bend it, this would be the chance for them to show off their skill. 3 different guys on it. And it'll be Frischnick, and his skies over the crossbar. Blake Frischnick gives it a go. The striker just can't get it the bend or the level on the shot that he was looking for. And that ball nearly carelessly given away. FC Tucson in a frantic state of being right now, and Chattanooga feeling that energy even more now than they were prior to the goal. Kind of acts as a validation of sort, because if you have the possession for all the time and continue to press and continue to attack and can't find a goal, that can get a little disheartening after a while. But now that you've been rewarded with a goal fairly early in the affair, and it'll only motivate you to continue to push forward and to continue to dominate possession, win the ball back at midfield, which has been the case so far for the Red Wolves. We'll see what the referee decides to do here. Dakota Barnathan knocking down Ruiz, and he will get a yellow card. His first of the season, the skipper. Gets a little tangled up with the striker, and all's fair there. And yet again, another free kick for the Red Wolves. Going into halftime, Tucson's going to want to do everything they can to forget how this one's gone and adjust and reset. Meanwhile, the Red Wolves, I think you're thinking another goal here. Obviously, you're going to keep pushing for one, but with the way things have been going, I think you could earn yourself a second one, whether it be off the set piece or the next 13 or so minutes of the first half. Ortiz walks away. A little bit of a training ground thing. Bedoya with the shot. Oh my goodness. That one curled to the top shelf. It'll be knocked away by Lapsley for a corner. Danny Bedoya almost had a wonderful goal last week in the 92nd minute down a man. Oh, excuse me. I totally had myself flipped up there. Jose Carrera Garcia. That was the brain switching off if I've ever heard one. We've got another corner kick here. Jose Carrera Garcia, the correct number 8, taking this one. Carrera Garcia. Another low ball, but it's flicked inside. Navarro can't do anything with it. Had Tucson players to his left and right, and that was dangerous. And he's going to get a yellow card for it. Josue Espana just coming in late on that one. I'll take a look at that one again. Does get some ball there, but he also gets a lot of Danny Bedoya. Just a dangerous challenge. Espana getting his 2nd of the season. That yellow card brought to you by Vantage West. Been a rough affair so far. Lots of fouls, some physicality. Chattanooga getting the ball right back. Espana with some space. Gives it forward to Frischnick. Can he do anything with it? Not really. It's going to be a goal kick for the home side. The Eastern Conference takes center stage when the USL on ESPN continues on ESPN Deportes Tuesday, June 15th. It's a clash of Midwestern powers as Indy 11 look to continue their hot start, welcoming perennial playoff contenders Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC to the mic. Catch the pair of Beasts of the Easts on Tuesday night with kickoff scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes. Not the best touch in communication between Ramos and Ricketts, gifting a throw-in for Korf. This one knocked back and forth. Well done between the two of them. Calixto with a shot. Oh, just rattles off the crossbar. That would have been a wonder goal there. And it'll be a Chattanooga throw. Calixto scored a goal last week, feeling confident as we take a look at this one again. That is quite the strike. Just a little bit too high, but I mean, that's the kind of strike you would like your forwards to take because that was quite close. Ricky Ruiz winning the ball back. It's just been a Chattanooga frenzy this game. But Dakota Barnathan able to do better there. Villalobos just waiting for the whistle to be blown there after the challenge. Knocking down Bedoya. Didn't even bother trying to keep the run of play going. And we're going to get a whistle to make sure that Bedoya is doing all right here. As we hear the fans and we take a look at them here. Showed up last weekend, and John Gallus and the FC Tucson guys were really appreciative of it. He said it was so nice to hear fans and can't wait for it to grow as the season goes on, as people realize they have the opportunity to come and watch now with COVID regulations laxing up a little bit. But he says in order to get more fans to the games, the organization of FC Tucson needs to continue doing the right things, and they need to put a good product on the pitch to make it worth coming to see. Looking for Korf here. They can muster a response in this game and get back into this one. It definitely would provide for an exciting night for the fans here in the stands, but up to this point, it's been more of a show for those visiting friends and family from Oregon, California, Mexico to come and see their visiting Red Wolves come play here a little closer to home than Tennessee. Here's Odenbeck. That one stamped on with authority. That was Jason Ramos. Bedoya looking to find something forward. Kind of falls into what he likes to do. Talking to John Gallus this week, he likes the kind of player Bedoya is. He was on Team of the Week this past week for Week 9, given his assist and his near brilliant goal in stoppage time. We're getting another foul in Tucson, drawn by Ray Ortiz. You see Alex Knox, the one guilty of it. Navarro will opt to give it back to his keeper. Daniel Navarro just going back and forth as his keeper, and now will stroll up the pitch. And that ball not on target for Blake Frischnick. Daniel Navarro, 29-year-old defender. This being his 4th start of the season. As Ricketts wins the ball back for Chattanooga. Here's Frischnick now. Villalobos over to the left to Ortiz, the new guy. Cuts inside, tries a curling effort, and it's knocked away by Knox once again. Knox has been getting worked on that left side of the pitch. But he's done well for himself so far in this affair. And that one cannot be corralled in by Jonathan Esparza, the left back. It'll be another FC Tucson goal kick. Well, bouncing back is not something Tucson's unfamiliar with these past 2 affairs. I already mentioned the response against Toronto FC, but prior to that, they had to travel across the country to Wake Med Soccer Park against North Carolina FC. They went down a goal early and were able to not only find an equalizer moments later, but then score a second goal in the second half to get a win on the road. And John Gallus said that he's proud of his guys for being able to bounce back in those affairs. And now we're going to get a foul drawn by Danny Bedoya once again. Jose Carrera Garcia, the one guilty of the foul. "41 minutes into this matchup. It's been nearly all Chattanooga up to this point, and the scoreboard reflects it. But can Tucson find some form and some shape here in the ending moments of the first half? They've had 1 or 2 moments of opportunity very early on. Shaq Adams in transition, and then Calixtro almost forcing a brutal goalkeeper mistake. Ortiz got some room to his left. He opts to cut inside though. Ruiz, oh my goodness, Ortiz with the shot. That was a good effort. Got my tongue all tied up there as we take a look at that one again. Ray Ortiz. That's a good little ball punched away by Lapsley. Ray Ortiz has been around a little bit, as I mentioned, the LA Galaxy Academy product. Hopped around the USL a little bit. Also played at Portland University, where he was all WCC his senior year. And a familiar sight, Ricky Ruiz on the corner kick. That one's got a lot of air underneath it. It's served back in, headed on. What a save by Lapsley! He does it again! Ruiz A second time, tees it inside. Knocked in, and that's a goal. Number 2 for the Red Wolves. Jonathan Ricketts, the right back, gets his first of the season. Several saves from Wallace Lapsley were not enough on this stretch of opportunities. 2 chances from defensemen Ricketts and Navarro, and then Ruiz tees it back inside, and this time Ricketts is able to connect cleanly and puts it home. A wonderful 45 minutes for the away side, and Jonathan Ricketts, the Chattanooga native, is able to notch one for his home team. And you can hear the fans chanting. I've mentioned it before. There's a good group of friends and family here rooting on the away side. And they have had a show up to this point. The Red Wolves just red hot right now. Shaq Adams trying to apply some pressure. Chattanooga will be feeling very good about themselves going to the locker room. Meanwhile, Tucson is going to have to do some hard thinking about how they want to approach the second 45 minutes. Being down 1 is one thing, being down 2, especially with how things have panned out. Not going to be an easy fix. We're going to get 4 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by Rightsure. 4 more minutes for Tucson to pain through. Meanwhile, Chattanooga may give it another go or two before time runs out. Josue Espana sends this one inside, falls to Frischnick. He's got 2 men on him. He'll retreat. A wise decision there. We're going to get a Red Wolves throw-in. Derry Korf somehow keeps possession there and wins a Tucson throw-in on the ground, on his rear end. But even then, you can tell there's some frustration. Players on the ground still. Josue Espana, the man, still trying to get things fixed up. But all smiles on him, even with the slight grimace of pain. That tangle is won by Jason Ramos. And it's fair game, says Karen Collado. Time is winding down here. The Red Wolves will walk this one out nicely. We talk about needing to bounce back from that disappointing affair in Statesboro. Well, they've done so far. And there's John Gallus, head coach of the home side. One of the main tactical head coaches in USL League One. He's going to have to do a lot of heavy thinking, and he's probably already on that one. Trying to think of what to tell his guys in the locker room and how they're going to shift things around to change up what has been an unfortunate first 50 minutes or so of the game. Villalobos is able to get it outside. Espana is not able to keep control of that ball after Frankie pokes it. Bedoya, it's hip checked there, and ref says play on. There's definitely some evident anger from the home side in FC Tucson. Things have not panned out the way they would have liked it up to this point. Korf now draws the foul. Ref says play on. They've got the ball. They may want to play it out because Korf is still on the ground. And we're finally going to get the whistle from Karen Collado. Looks like Derek Korf is still on the ground, clutching his leg. Derek Korf, one of the strikers for this Tucson side, has 2 goals on the season, but he's back up on his feet. Gets a little high five from Ray Ortiz. Past the 4-minute mark of stoppage time, so it's all up to the head official on when she decides that this game is through, or at least this half is through. Here's Calixtro. Plays it out, gets it right back to him. And we're going to get another foul here. Just been a chippy affair for the first 50 minutes of the game, and we're going to get another yellow card. Looks like that was on Calixtro, his first of the year. And there is the whistle for the first half of action. Well, if you are a fan of the visiting team, it's been an entertaining one. If you're FC Tucson, you've got a lot of thinking to do in the locker room to make sure that this second half is not a lost cause, as we see with some frustration as they walk off the pitch. Just a Chattanooga Red Wolves 45 to start things off. But with that, though, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we have halftime coverage coming your way, news and notes, some content, all of these fun stuff. So do not change the channel on ESPN+.
Kick off your shoes and go barefoot with us. Laugh with us. Yes, girl, with us. Surprise with us. Good times with us. Celebrate you with us. Strike a pose with us. Swap with us. Sip barefoot wine with us. Put down your phone and relax with us. Be you with us. Barefoot with us.
Lately, we've all faced difficult choices. We sacrifice. We choose to stay home, to connect, not to be stuck in our fears. And when we choose each other, life gets better. We choose to be here when you need us, to support you during hard times. We choose strength and hope. We choose you.
Mexico's more than a country. It's a feeling. Wherever you feel Mexican, there is Mexico. It could be in the middle of LA or in the middle of nowhere. It's It's in our blood. Don't waste time trying to hide it. It's too big, too strong. This is who we are. Let's celebrate it. Tecate. Mexico is in us.
This season, FC Tucson will welcome over.
Welcome to tonight's halftime, brought to you by Right Sure. The April-May first month lump of the season has concluded, and we've got our save of the month and goal of the month. So let's take a look at the two that were able to win those awards for the first bit of the 2021 League One season.
Over the top, Keegan has Fuson with him. Keegan, McGuire, and it's in on the follow-up!
You want to hold the flat line, that's fine, but at some point in time, you need to make that extra step. Firmino provides that balance.
Stolen by Lomas. Lomas dicing through now, McLean! Knew who is there.
We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we got news and notes, look around the league, the team of the week, and more on the Right Sure halftime show.
Traveling through the night, when I woke up to my surprise, saw a sliver of big sky.
Let us refresh our story. We are Tecate, born and brewed in the land we share our name with, Tecate, Baja California. Made to the same quality recipe since 1944, with ingredients de aquí y de allá. A truly Mexican-American beer. Tecate. Mexico's in us.
Vitiello's there again, second header!
Here's a chance for Cicerone. Russell Cicerone, the leading goal scorer.
Welcome back to the halftime show, brought to you by Right Sure. So far we've looked at some of the highlights from early season. Now let's take a look at what's happening around USL as a whole. First off, the big news from this past week, USLW has been announced. It's the women's league by the USL, entirely made to bring more equity as far as the soccer playing field in the USL, giving jobs to women in sports as well as on the pitch. Meanwhile, Nil Vignoles had a great showing last week, and Carl Craig, May Coach of the Month, was able to go 3-0-1 in May. Now let's take a look at the team of the week. We already see Nil Vignoles, the player of the week, had a great performance against New England last weekend. As far as the two teams are concerned that you're watching right now, only one member of either one, Daniel Bedoya, is in last week's affair. I mentioned in the first half, had the assist off the corner kick, and then also nearly had a game winner as time wound down. Now let's take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Sheraton. We got some great affairs tomorrow. North Texas gets to take on Greenville after their long stint off. Meanwhile, also it's round 2 of 4 in this month for South Georgia Tormenta against Toronto FC2. And then we've got some midweek matches between Fort Lauderdale and Toronto. And then Greenville are at it again against North Carolina FC. So after that, though, it's another great weekend of action. So with that in mind, though, we've got the second half coming your way. We're going to have highlights coming up. The first half highlights, like I said, first half stats, and kickoff on ESPN+.
Therapy is usually the thing you're told to do after medication, x-rays, or even surgery. But what if the best way to fix your aches and pains is to start where you normally finish? At Athletico, our therapists, the same ones who work with world-class athletes and professional dancers, can transform your pain before it progresses to something worse. Because the sooner you start with physical therapy, the sooner you can start changing everything. And it all starts here with no prescription needed at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment today.
Let's be honest, the world has changed. Everything is done a little differently now. But what hasn't changed is the time that you spend with us is still amazing. And even though things have been tough, we're here to help you unwind. Sheraton Tucson, showing you that the good times are back. We can't wait to see you. So get ready. It's time to check in.
A bank ad, so we don't need to show you vague community stock footage. We can show you places you know and call home because we call them home too. When you manage your money with a credit union, you're taking true ownership of your finances and how your money impacts the community. Stop letting banking just happen to you. Bring your money home to Vantage West.
Welcome back to the halftime show brought to you by Rightsure. It's 2-0 in favor of the away side in the Red Wolves. Now let's take a look at tonight's first half highlights brought to you by Rightsure. How have we gotten here to this point? Well, after 45 plus 5 minutes, it has been a Chattanooga affair, and it started early for the Red Wolves. We see Ray Ortiz, the new addition to this squad, getting the team involved early. You see right here, Villalobos trying to make something happen. Espana then getting a shot that gets cleared off the line by Barnathan. Really could have gone on the score sheet early, but the skipper is able to save the zeros for now, at least. It wouldn't stay that way for the first 45, as you know, but Barnathan doing well there to keep an early goal from finding its way in. Espana thought maybe he had goal number 4, and then the goals came out. Villalobos stole the ball away, rifled a shot, and then the ball smartly played away by Frischnick to Ricky Ruiz, who just puts it away, bottom right corner. And Lapsley just could only kneel helplessly as he tried to get it. And then here we've got a wonderful little free kick that was taken by Jose Carrera Garcia. At the time, I could have sworn was Danny Bedoya, but my head just completely flipping up there. And then on the other side, SC Tucson, a wonderful shot from Gio Calixtro, trying to make something happen to muster up a response. They may need more of that aggression from him here in the second half of action, because that was a great take. Maybe I let him a little loose here. And then near the end of the half, some wonderful saves by Lapsley are not enough when this ball gets teed in a second time by Ricky Ruiz. And Jonathan Ricketts, the Chattanooga native, is able to put it home. Already had 2 assists on the year and now has a goal to his name. Wonderful work from Chattanooga in this first half. I'm curious to see how John Gallus, the head coach of Tucson, changes things for the second half. Now let's take a look at these halftime stats. some of these numbers may be deceiving to you is when it comes to possession, but outside of that, I mean, you know, let's look at the 13 shots on target, an absurd amount for the Red Wolves. That's kind of what can kind of indicate who's had the upper hand of this matchup. So after 45, it's going to be one that Tucson's going to want to forget. Looking forward for Tucson, let's take a look at their upcoming schedule in these next few matches. They've got a 2-game road trek against North Texas and Omaha, and then they have the chance to get payback against Fort Lauderdale, a team that really did them dirty in Miami. 5-1 thrashing there. It was just something that they will want to forget about. Now let's take a look at what Chattanooga has got on their plate once this game is over. They've got 2 home games, including next weekend, where they'll get to debut their massive Jumbotron. If you haven't seen it on social media, that thing is a mammoth, and you'll be able to see it next Sunday against North Carolina FC, a team that I don't believe they've been able to play yet this season. And then they've got a big match against the Greenville Triumph right after that, the reigning champions Greenville Triumph. So some exciting affairs for these two, but obviously we still got 45 more minutes in this one. It may be a 2-game lead or 2-goal lead, but it's far from over. Let's see what Tucson can do to bring this game back into contention here in the second half. Or is it just going to be another 45 of the away side really having their way on this game? Both teams look to make their way back onto the pitch and get themselves settled. I'm no expert, but if I'm John Gallus, maybe gotta figure out different tactical changes to maybe just shake up what the Red Wolves are doing. We do not have any substitutions between the two sides, so Gallus happy with the guys on the pitch. It'll be a matter of just changing behavior, and if I'm Jimmy Obleda, I'm keeping the foot on the pedal and establishing that nothing has changed after the break. Really got to do better in the middle of the pitch if you're FC Tucson. They've been giving the ball away a lot there. That's also been the reason for a couple of the best chances that the Red Wolves have had. Because when they've been set on the defensive side, they've done well enough to shore up any offensive threats that Chattanooga have brought. Will the domination continue, or do we have a bounce back story in mind? The Red Wolves dominant on the road, and Ruiz now entering into the 18. He tries to find Frischnick, but the ball isn't quite on target. After 45, it's just been a Red Wolves affair, to say the least. We can see if they're able to find something this match. The Red Wolves, they struggled with finding a goal last weekend, but it hasn't been too much of an issue here. But something that, although this Red Wolves offense is really high octane and are fast and are clinical, one thing Jimmy Obleda said coming into this game is that they're really lacking that guy in the middle, that number 9, who can really strike fear in the opposing head coach as they game plan for the matchup. He's got a lot of chance creators, but he needs someone in the middle as they veer inside the 18. Ortiz, maybe looking to draw a penalty there, but not enough there for Callan Collado to even consider it. But talking to Jimmy Obleda, he said that they've got the talent for that number 9 in Blake Frischnick, Juan Galindres, who's still on the bench at this point, and then Rafa Menzingen, who has been injured so far this season, so hasn't been able to make his appearance as a Red Wolf yet. He just says that the talent just needs to flourish in one of these guys. He likened it to basketball. He said they need that guy in the middle, the Shaq, to impose their will. Because in games in the past, teams have known that the Chattanooga Red Wolves will attack on the flanks, and so they've overloaded on the flanks and dared the Red Wolves to go down the middle where they haven't found as much success. Hasn't been too much of an issue here today. 2 goals, of course. Here's Espana. He'll work his way forward. He's got some space. Espana with the shot. Deflected, and it just goes wide. And we're getting calls for a corner kick, but it looks like it's just going to be a goal kick. Let's take a look at that again. Espana. His shot. The back heel from both Frischnick and Ruiz there. Looking to just catch Lapsley off guard, and now we're going to get a foul. A player going way up high for that one. And it'll be a Chattanooga free kick. I think it was Giovanni Calixtro just with the mid-air collision. This one going forward, nothing there. Tucson need to establish some possession here because it's gone right back to how it looked in the first half. Just establishing some connections here between Barnathan and Bedoya, but there we got a goal kick as they're getting some pressure on the keeper. Tucson tried to create some mistakes from Sebastian Aurora, and now Wallace Lapsley feeling some pressure from Ruiz. They're not going to let up, even though 2 goals up. If you tuned into League One action last weekend, you would have seen what took place the weekend prior, and team scoring first not actually ending up winning the affair. It was a curious 6-game stretch. Or at least 7 out of 8 going into last weekend. Now, I'm talking about some of the tickets to the game. Jimmy Obleda said that we need the guys to be good with ball control, and they need to keep possession and let Tucson chase us. Holding onto the ball is also a great chance to get some rest in that Arizona heat. And then on top of that, their strikers, in particular their number 9, needs to be unforgiving when the opportunity arises. I would say that up to this point they've lived up to those demands from their head coach. But now it's a matter of keeping it up for the next 40 minutes. Bedoya. Can he create some chances here in the second half? His cross is deflected and will be headed away by Sparza. Now here's Chattanooga on the counterattack, but there's actually an overwhelming amount of defenders there. Well done by Kalen Fox there to win back possession, and gets a little shove off before resetting the ball. Once again, some frustration being lashed out on Ray Ortiz. Good little touch. Here's Frankie. Players closing in on him. No foul called. And then spun around by Navarro to keep possession. Like they said, or like Jimmy Obleda said, it's totally fine just passing the ball around, a chance to catch a breather. And knowing Tucson, he knows that they'll chase after the ball a little bit. So run out those strikers. Getting some more than maybe Charlie Dennis is getting himself warmed up on the sideline. An experienced midfielder, especially in USL League One. This ball is teed inside. Frischnick tries to get his foot on it. I think it went off of Barnathan, though. Here's Odenbeck. And he'll switch it. Oh, and he's got Korf over there. Had to chase his touch for a moment. Lays it off to Bedoya. Well addressed, though, on that one by Ramos. Knocked away. And now we're going to get some substitutions here. Looks like Charlie Dennis will be the one to come in. And coming out will be Jared Odenbeck. So you've got a defensive-minded midfielder coming out of the game in favor of maybe someone that's got a little more facilities for the attack, which makes sense given the fact you're down 2 goals. You got to have some more aggression. This substitution brought to you by Rightshire. Charlie Dennis coming in. Coming from Brighton, England. If you're familiar with the name Charlie Dennis, that's because he spent a lot of his time at Tormenta, doing a lot of good there on the attacking end for the guys down in Statesboro, Georgia. Here's Villalobos. They are taking the space as they desire. Got a lot of overlapping players over here. Ricketts. He'll launch this one over to the left channel. Let's see if Ortiz can keep it in. I think they're going to say that that one went out, but a good effort from him. FC Tucson fans, the Men in Black will be back at Keno North Stadium on July 3rd when they take on Fort Lauderdale in a revenge game. Make sure to visit fctucson.com/tickets for more information about the different ticket options. Ever since that Fort Lauderdale game, FC Tucson have really done well. Gotten a point in every affair since then, but once again find themselves down. Ruiz with a zone of space. One of the goal scorers fires a shot and it'll go into the hands of Sebastian Mora. Or Wallace Lapsley, pardon me. Getting my names flipped up here. There's Frankie now. Taking a nifty step or two to progress down the pitch. Now Korf switches it. This one will get knocked away for a Tucson throw. Shaq Adams will quickly take it. Here's Knox. Tucson desperately needs something here. Knocked away. Here's Korf now. Looking to draw a penalty. And now we're going to get a foul for maybe being a little bit too dramatic and trying to play the ball from the ground. Some frustration from Derry Korf. The Englishman, desperate to create something for himself, just hasn't been there today for him. He was heavily involved last game against Toronto. Got the ball a lot. Kept trying to work on players and cut inside and fire a shot off, but it just wasn't. Then wasn't able to find a goal last week, and it really hasn't been there for him today. Says play on. Chattanooga. Ruiz squares it over to Villalobos. Villalobos with the shot. That's a great save by Wallace Lapsley. But play moves on, and we're going to get a Chattanooga throw here. Whenever we can. Villalobos firing a shot. It's a good little look here. And he gets down low because that was put on a dime by Jimmy Villalobos. This one put inside, headed around. Is there anyone over there? No, but it's chased down by Espana. Once again, Chattanooga in a spell of passing around the attacking third. Ruiz takes a couple steps. Sparza thought about it. He thought about launching that one. Ref says play on. This could be a chance for Tucson to move forward. Going down the pitch, it's Charlie Dennis. Gives it to his right. And Calixtro, should we want a corner here? And he does. Charlie Dennis quickly going over to take it. This corner kick brought to you by Nova Home Loans. Let's see if Charlie Dennis, the substitute, can put something nice there at the top. Danny Bedoya no longer the corner kick taker. Here's Tucson. Nobody there for it. Only finds the back of one of the goal scorer's heads in Ricky Ruiz. There's Charlie Dennis once again. The substitute, the lone substitute in this matchup so far. Definitely a attacking-minded midfielder as opposed to Jared Odenbeck. At this point, you need more creative players on the pitch to make something happen. And now we're going to get a free kick for Tucson. This time, Danny Bedoya is behind it. Need to find something. They need to find it soon. Danny Bedoya, a creative passer, very aggressive-minded, according to John Gallus. Said he's a risk taker. Only member of last week's Team of the Week between these two clubs today. Bedoya's ball. Looks like it went off the head of Charlie Dennis. They're going to say it's another goal kick. Nothing there for Tucson. When talking about what Tucson needed to do to win this game, John Gallus said that we can't shoot ourselves in the foot, especially late game. And Chattanooga pounces on mistakes. Well, the first goal was definitely a mistake that they pounced on. The second one, just a great set piece that they're able to collect and throw back in. Both times, though, coming off of a save from Wallace Lapsley. Maybe we'll be working on defenders recovering those deflections in practice this week. That one was almost inventively found to Villalobos, who's done a number on this Tucson team here today. He's not on the score sheet, but he has been deadly in the attacking half. Well, one back. Good effort from Giovanni Calixtro. Mentioned at halftime, the USLW, new women's league announced by the USL. He's starting off in 2022, so next year. A couple of USL League One teams getting their hands in on that, including the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Calixtro's shot just snuffed by Ramos. Now he'll go forward. You hearing the chanting. That's a lot of visiting fans for Chattanooga. They're having themselves a good time so far. Korf now, moving forward. Weaving through a couple players, and then he'll lay it off. Charlie Dennis, he could take a shot. He does so, and it's in! Charlie Dennis with a shot outside the 18. Draws one back for Tucson. This FC Tucson goal, brought to you by Cicharo, is a banger from Charlie Dennis. The substitute comes in and makes a difference. Let's take a look at that one again. Charlie Dennis, the Englishman, thinks about it and then fires. Pulls the trigger. That's a great take, right where Sebastian Morimaro can't get to it. And we have got 30 minutes. This is not over. FC Tucson have responded. That's a great strike. We got some smoke fired off here, Keno North. Let's see if that can change the tides here a little bit. fire from Tucson, but they've given it away here. Here's a shot. Wonderful save by Lapsley. Smart to come off his line to deal with that one. And Jimmy Villalobos, hungry for a goal in this one. He's had some chances. And look at him go here. Comes in, and Lapsley decides to be wise to come off his line to handle it. This one's getting more interesting here. Both sides really getting into it. And as this happens, it looks like Ronaldo Pineda might be the first substitute for the Red Wolves. Getting warmed up on the sideline. On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and the brand new USL All Access featuring Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League. SiriusXM FC channel 157 on your SiriusXM radio and the SiriusXM app. Obviously, a lot of those leagues right now on their international breaks. As Ray Ortiz is getting checked by the trainers. Ortiz been heavily involved in this game, and I talked to Jimmy Obleda about how he's adjusted to being in this new place, and he's been getting involved real early. He said that it hasn't really been tough for Ortiz to come in, because it's not like he's around a bunch of new guys. He's played with or against many of these guys at the academy level, collegiately, in the pros. And so it's not about introducing himself and knowing how his teammates play. It's a lot more about just getting used to what they're asking of him tactically. But he's been happy with what he's done so far and said he's a great professional. Ray Ortiz, that is. And now, speaking of Ray Ortiz, he'll be coming out of the game after 64 minutes in favor of Ronaldo Pineda. 24-year-old forward coming from Santa Ana, California. And now looks like we may get a second substitution. A fan favorite, Walefi, is getting himself prepared. He won't come in yet. Walefi, a guy who's been around since the inaugural season. Here's Dennis, the goal scorer for Tucson. He has us over to the left side. I guess this is the moment for Obleda to make some adjustments to make sure that this game can stay in their favor. Korf somehow continues to fight for that ball until it's finally cleared out. I believe with Jason Ramos. Well, maybe this is not exactly what John Gallus had in mind when he talked about how well his team's been closing out games, as this one's nearly served up for Calixtro. Typically liking to be on the leading end of games down the wire, but he said that this season they've been really good at closing them out. And he says that's a huge positive, given last year that was a deficiency of theirs in the 2020 season. And he says those kind of wins build character, and currently they are unbeaten in one-score affairs, so hopefully the commentator's jinx doesn't come in here, but they were down 2, trying to claw back. So it was a taller order than maybe some of these other games I've been. Chattanooga trying to switch it over to España, where he had acres of space, but unable to do so. I'm going to get a couple more substitutions for Chattanooga on the plate. España tees this one in, looking for the header. It's a little bit too high on that one. Another go, though. There's nobody there for it. Ruiz is on it now. Ruiz works on Frankie. Teases in the middle. This is a good look. Oh, chest wide, right post. That shot was real close, and it was a nice opportunity for the Red Wolves to reassert their dominance. Oh, that's a good take, just wide. And Walefi for the Red Wolves is going to come into the game in favor of Josue España. Walefi getting closer and closer to health. We see Juan Galindrez right behind him. Chattanooga, I'll tell you what, have some wonderful guys off the bench to really keep things going nicely in the game and add an extra layer and dimension to the match. And then here's Juan Galindrez coming in. He will come in for Blake Frischnick. So the top of the formation, the two strikers coming out for some new blood. Walefi getting closer and closer to getting back into that starting lineup. Jimmy Obleda likes where he's at. He's been on the men for the longest time. As Shaq Adams takes us down the right side. Adams with the cross. Looks for Bedoya, but it reaches the head of Calixtro, but it's just wide. Calixtro just wide on that one. So we take a look at that one again. That's a good ball from Adams, and Calixtro can't quite make it. 2 goals in 2 games. But Tucson has definitely found their footing in this one. I was talking about Walefi. 44, now 45 appearances as a Red Wolf. So definitely a guy who is used to putting on that Red Wolves kit. Meanwhile, Juan Galindrez, the other substitution, came on 2 weeks ago and scored a late game winner at home against Richmond. So definitely a lot of talent coming off the bench. Could do some damage for Jimmy Obleda, but also could act as cutting out that momentum that some of the players that were on the pitch had. And now we're going to get another yellow card here. Jose Carrera Garcia getting his first of the season. So we're going to get a free kick right by midfield after that challenge from Jose Carrera Garcia. That brought to you by Vantage West. Got 20 more minutes in this affair. Going over to the right side. See if they can work something here off the free kick. Not a good pass from Alex Knox. You got 20 more minutes. It's a lot of time for some action, some goals, some sways of momentum here as things move along. Sparza will throw this one in. Finds Galindrez, who's doing well to body off Knox. Almost is found again on that run. Here's Carrera Garcia looking for Galindrez, but only finds the back of Kalen Fox. That's a nice turn from Calixtro, but his touch is then knocked off the foot of Esparza. Looks like we're gonna get another yellow card here, and Charlie Dennis getting his 3rd of the year. You can see the bench all explode after that one. He's got to be careful. Karen Collado issuing some harsh warnings to him. Just putting himself in the books. You do not want to aggravate the referee even more. And we still got a player down on Chattanooga's side. The United Soccer League, all 12 League One clubs, and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. Everyone's back on their feet. Tension's still boiling here. This game getting more contentious as time goes on. Take a look at Jimmy Obleda, who will hope that his substitutions will do the trick for the last stretch of this affair. bit of acting there for the Chattanooga free kick takers. And we're going to get a corner kick awarded to the away side. Held off by Ronaldo Pineda, one of the other substitutions here in the second half of action. Let's see, got two players inside. Jose Carrera Garcia will be the corner kick taker. Ruiz, lots of space at the top of the 18. Comes in, nothing to be done with it. It's going to be headed up over the crowd and into the hands of Wallace Lapsley. Now let's see if Chattanooga can hold up some possession on the backside. I'll quickly move it forward though. Now on our vertical side, so they're very quick to bring the ball down the pitch. Here's Pineda. Pineda fires a shot, but not too much danger there for the 24-year-old keeper. Ronaldo Pineda has played 3 games this season, now 4. Looking to find his way onto this goal sheet. Or at least challenge Lapsley, since both the other 2 goals came off of saves from the Tucson keeper. And just trying to find someone to deflect the ball off of and get him out of form. Moving forward is Knox. Going over to Shaq Adams. Here's Korf. He's got a couple men forward with him. That's a good little touch there. Over to the left side. Frankie gives it back, but it's just not quite accurate enough to get to Bedoya. Now it's wide open for Galindrez. One-on-one with Lapsley, but wisely he comes off the line and clears it away. And he is angry. It'll be a Chattanooga throw. Not happy that that one-on-one chance between him and Galindrez was presented. Some chants from here at Keno North Stadium. Looks like Jimmy Villalobos down on the ground. It's actually chants for the Red Wolves. Once again, this contingent of fans away, really making noise here. All good fans add into the atmosphere of the matchup. And it's not like John Gallus is too upset about that. He said he welcomes fans coming in and having a good time and rooting on their team. This one going over to the left side. Another chance for the Red Wolves. Well dealt with for the moment. Now Bedoya quickly sends it forward. Calixtro taps it to Dennis. It's him and Calixtro going down, and he'll be taken down. Ref says good challenge, and the Red Wolves will play on. They're going to hold it. And it'll be knocked out of play. I think a player is down. It may be Charlie Dennis. There's John Gallus. Continuing to get some things cleared away with the officials. He's getting a little animated himself. He's not, maybe not quite as grandiose as Jimmy Obleda, but infamous for his pacing late game that he's doing right now. Athletic Brewing Company believes you shouldn't have to sacrifice your ability to be healthy, active, and at your best to enjoy great beer. So they created their innovative lineup of refreshing, non-alcoholic craft beers. Visit athleticbrewing.com to find their beer in stores near you. As we wait for things to get reset here, it looks like we're going to get some warnings from Karen Collado to John Gallus. And he opts to sit down and sort of withdraw himself from the situation, getting a little heated here.
Let's go, Tucson.
Looks like we're looking at another substitution coming in soon for the home side. Franco Perez, having served his suspension, is able to play today and maybe add some more juice on that attacking side. Once again, they need that second goal. Jordan Penna drawing the foul here. It will be a Tucson free kick just behind midfield for them. Looks like Giovanni Calixtro, once the substitution is made, will be the one to walk off the pitch. Barnathan. Maybe the one to launch it forward. Be another throw-in. Not on the same page with Derry Korf there. Noah Frankie. Send him forward via Lobos. Continuing to work his magic in this game. Ball goes right back to FC Tucson. Korf has some room. Decides to step inside. Well, that's a nice little cross. Dennis may have come off his hand. It's cleared away. But it is collected by Alex Knox. Now Penna switches the field. Over to Korf, one-on-one with Ruiz. Still able to keep himself on it. Lays out to Frankie. Can Tucson make something happen here? Nice little find to Korf. Korf gets tripped up, no foul called, played on. Derry Korf has taken to the turf or to the grass several times inside of the 18. No time has a foul been called. A foul will be called there on Ronaldo Pineda. Let's take a look right here at this no call. Gets a little tangled up with Jose Carrera Garcia. I think that's the right call there.
Come on, Tucson, make some noise.
We are going to get a substitution here, though, for Tucson. Calixtro coming into the game in favor of Franco Perez. 25 years old. The Argentine comes in looking to see if he can find a late goal to equalize. Franco Perez, his 5th appearance on the season. He's a bigger guy, 6'1". Someone that John Gallus said that they really enjoy playing off of up top and can include some new look combos at the others. Taking a look at some more words between Gallus and Karen Collado, and Gallus is going to get carded here. Not on the best of terms with our head official today.
Head coach John Gallus of FC Tucson.
She is going to put the home coach in the books. Tell you what, we're probably going to have quite a few minutes of added time after these 9 minutes are all said and done. Lots of extracurriculars here in the second half. Dennis will move horizontally. Still has room in front of him. Not quite on the same page as Frankie, and it's a loose pass that Ruiz collects. Take his time. Good little find for Galindrez, but Barnathan, well done to slide on that one. Looks like we're gonna get a corner kick here. That ball really spun all the way across the goal line. Like a nice trip down the pitch. Ricky Ruiz. Once again will be the one over top of the ball. And Chattanooga put this one away here. As Villalobos right by him. They got their second goal off of a save from the corner kick. This ball has a lot of height to it, and well addressed by Tucson. It's teed back in, though. That'll be a goal kick for the home side. This one's sent forward. Goes from one end of the pitch all the way to the other for Sebastian Moramora. He will take his precious time holding on to it. Lindres may have gotten a handball there, and that will be called a free kick. For the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USLW League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets. The W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to uslwleague.com to learn more. Gutsy little challenge there from Jason Ramos, but they're gonna say it's a foul. He's gonna plead his case, and he's going to get a yellow here. Another first of the season, had quite a few of those today. That yellow card brought to you by Vantage West. This is a short corner kick, if you will, as far as location. So another chance for Tucson to draw it level here. Danny Bedoya. Can he make it an assist 2 games in a row? Raised in the Queens, Danny Bedoya. Got a lot of Tucson teammates loaded up inside the 18. All goes to the top of the 18. Here's a shot. Dennis, he finds it! Charlie Dennis equalizes! A brace for the substitute! In a near location to where his first goal was struck. Are you not entertained, Charlie Dennis? Basks in the roar of the crowd at Keno North Stadium. And we are level with 5 minutes to go. Let's take a look at that one again. That was a nifty little idea from Bedoya. Finds him wide open, and he lasers that ball through the traffic. And FC Tucson, after seeing dead and gone in this game, momentum-wise, has come back into this game. That Tucson goal is brought to you by C. Charo, and once again, Charlie Dennis. A brace for the 23-year-old Englishman. Here come the Red Wolves. Ricky Ruiz looking to find a response. This one almost slips into Juan Golindres. As we have the players playing through the red smoke over here, which you would think equates to Red Wolves' success, but the home side have clawed back into this game. Ricketts is able to somehow find Pineda on the left side, but his shot's deflected away. Some collisions here. A wall of Tucson players rejects, it looks like Ronaldo Pineda, who's trying to make a run. Now Lapsley. Looks like he's going to get a drop ball. He'll pick it right up and distribute it as he pleases. Charlie Dennis coming off of some injuries, was not able to play last week. He was on the bench as an option, but they decided to not play him. But coming from Tormenta, a product of the Southampton Academy, an academy that has produced some world-class players over in Europe. And Charlie Dennis showing off some of that pedigree that Southampton creates. Over there, the south end of England. Charlie Dennis, just two wonderful rocketing shots. At this point, I'm hearing roughly 5 minutes of added time, but we'll get that confirmed to you once the fourth official holds the sign up in the air. But the one thing that's really good about those strikes from Dennis is you would think that it's always better to put it up high, but sometimes in those traffic situations, it's harder for the keeper to get down than it is to get up. And Dennis putting it in the right spot. First one, bottom left corner. Second one, bottom right corner. But here's Chattanooga. Juan Galindrez weaves it side, fires a shot. Galindrez takes the lead again for Chattanooga. He's done it again. Juan Galindrez 2 weeks ago gave the Red Wolves the lead at home, and Galindrez finds it again. The super substitute Juan Galindrez, 26 years old, the Colombian, does a little dance in the corner and celebrates his second goal and potentially his second game winner of the season. Laid off for him, Galindrez fires it right side. Lapsley could not get there in time. And the Red Wolves, in dramatic fashion, have responded. I tell you what, you cannot turn away from a Red Wolves game. They always know how to bring on an exciting show. And he will get yellow carded happily for his celebration. You see, that may be the most pleasant response to a card that we've seen today, and maybe we've seen in quite a while. That yellow card brought to you by Vantage West. Getting a little high five from the big man, Walefi. Celebrating with him, and Chattanooga are able to respond. And now we're going to get two more substitutions for Tucson. Kevin Rodriguez and Sam Beek coming into the game. Beek coming in for Knox. Meanwhile, Kevin Rodriguez rolling into this one. Derry Korf will come off for Kevin Rodriguez. Rodriguez, his fourth appearance of the season. Last was with RGV Toros. Meanwhile, Sam Beek just played last week and is typically a starter, but coming off the bench here today. He's played over 370 minutes this season. Meanwhile, Rodriguez only 43 minutes total. These substitutions brought to you by Reicher. Now we'll wait to see. The goal scorer able to win the ball back. What looks like the game winner. And what has been quite the nightcap to today's action in USL League One. Now Ruiz bringing it down the pitch. Gives it to his left. Pineda lays it off to Ruiz. Ruiz tees it into the hands of Lapsley. Chattanooga trying to put the nail in the coffin here as we get the confirmed 6 minutes of added time brought to you by Reicher. Tucson still moving forward with purpose, though. They have not given up. Here's Rodriguez. Show him some speed. Switches it to Adams. Adams moves forward. Tees it inside. Oh, Beek tried to connect to that one, the substitute. He points to the corner. And they're going to get it. Do we still not have another goal hidden away here in added time? This corner kick brought to you by Nova Home Loans. Could it be all important from Dennis? That's a good looking ball. Popped around. Bedoya tries to get the shot on it, but it's knocked away. He charged after it, but it was red. Now Galindrez wins the ball here. Stolen away by Penna. Now Tucson moving forward. They still have hope in them. Shaq Adams takes it into the 18. Tries to cross it inside, deflect it around a couple times. That should be another corner kick. They're gonna call it a goal kick though. Must have come off one of the strikers last second, maybe Franco Perez, but we've also got a player down from that collision. Looks like it's Ramos, the one that's on the grass. Just a lot of legs flying around there as players are trying to either keep the ball in play or knock it out to protect their lead. And we are going to get a goal kick as Ramos gets helped up to his feet by his two teammates. A lot of time lost here. We'll see how Karen Collado works with this. And we're going to get another substitution. Jackson Dietrich coming in for the Red Wolves. Getting himself readied. Jimmy Villalobos couldn't quite find a goal here today, but put in a good shift. 90-plus minutes for Villalobos. Gets an applause. Coming in for him, Dietrich getting his 4th appearance of the season. Coming from Bremen, Germany.
Great substitution for Chattanooga, coming in number 21, Jackson Dietrich, coming out number 6, Jimmy.
Time is running out for Tucson. And Dietrich trying to keep it forward. Will draw the foul on Penna. And it'll be a free kick, I would presume, for the Red Wolves here. More time to kill off the clock for Chattanooga. As this game comes to a dramatic close. A late goal from Galindrez's response to the equalizer by Charlie Dennis. 85th minute and then the 89th minute. Absolute drama here at Keno North Stadium. Camping in the corner is Dietrich. He's able to get it out. Well done by him. And then that will roll out for a goal kick. Maybe 1 or 2 chances here. So I would assume this one goes past the 96-minute mark due to the injury. And that ball. Little hopeful trying to find Kevin Rodriguez. I think there may not be another chance here for Tucson unless they can win the ball back quickly. And Dietrich doing his job as the substitute, coming in, drawing fouls, holding the ball off, killing time. Serving the purpose I'm sure Jimmy Obleda is so happy to see performed. Corner and headed out rather carelessly by Tucson. Any moment now for Karen Collado to blow that whistle. Gotta get it forward here. Collado doesn't have the whistle by her mouth yet, so she'll keep this one going. Here's Adams. 97th minute. Making something happen. Shakes one player loose, shakes another loose, tees it inside. It's headed on target, but doesn't have a lot of pace, and Mora falls on it, and that could be it. Wonderful work from the 22-year-old forward, Shaq Adams. But it may not have been enough here, so this one gets hoofed into oblivion. And there is your final whistle. The Cardiac Red Wolves have done it again. An 85th minute equalizer was not enough for Juan Galindrez in the 89th minute to notch his second game winner of the season. Now let's take a look at our man of the match. Charlie Dennis got a brace, brought to you by Right Sure, but it was not enough in the end, and you can see the frustration on his face. Now let's take a look at the play of the match here, which unfortunately is also authored by that man right there, Charlie Dennis. A wonderful showing from him, but it was not enough to notch away the victory here as we take a look at that 85th minute goal. A wonderful little find from Danny Bedoya, and then Dennis just puts it away. That's just how you want to see it. Tonight's play of the match brought to you by Right Sure. And he was able to celebrate with the crowd, thinking that they were able to come away with a point. But that man right there, Juan Galindrez, Mr. Clutch, is able to get it done. So your final score is 3-2. We're going to go to a break, but when we come back, we have final highlights and stats on ESPN+.
Kick off your shoes and go barefoot with us. Laugh with us. Yes, girl, with us. Surprise with us. Good times with us. Celebrate you with us. Strike a pose with us. Swap with us. Sip barefoot wine with us. Put down your phone and relax with us. Be you with us. Barefoot with us.
We had an exciting one here at Keno North Stadium, and the Chattanooga Red Wolves thanking their large contingent who were loud and energetic, and look at the smile on the face of Jimmy Obleda. The Red Wolves, in the 89th minute, take victory over FC Tucson. Now let's take a look at tonight's highlights, brought to you by Right Sure. This one was an exciting one, but the first half made it seem like it was going to be a one-sided affair. Chattanooga dominating possession, holding it in the attacking half, and right here, the first goal of the game, Ricky Ruiz just putting it away. It's not the last time we'd see a goal put away at that very spot on that very goal. And then off the corner kick, well done there by Ramos, putting it back into play, and Navarro with a heated header. It's palmed away by Wallace Lapsley, but then Jonathan Ricketts is able to make it to start the 2-0 lead for Chattanooga. Going into halftime, you think, what can Tucson do to make this game an even affair again? And going out of the second half, it seemed like it was still all Chattanooga. But then Charlie Dennis came into the game and really made a difference. And I mean, shots like that, that'll change the flow of any game you go into. That's a wonderful strike, keeping it low, lots of pace, great placement. Just a wonderful strike by Charlie Dennis. They're back in the game. And then we just saw it go a moment ago, the play of the match. Dennis, once again, just precision shooting, puts it away, and gets the job done. Looks like it's going to be a point apiece for both sides, but then teed over to Juan Galindrez, and Galindrez knows his spot. Right side netting. It's the second time he's done it. It's the second game winner. Now let's take a look at those final game stats. If you look at it, Chattanooga, a lot more shots, a lot more offensive opportunities, but Tucson did well to fight back in that second half of action. But when they need it the most, Juan Galindrez, who's now becoming quite the monster off the bench, was able to get it done again. So an absolutely exciting affair between these two, Tucson and Chattanooga. Now the both will have to move forward on to their next games. Tucson will need to find answers. Meanwhile, Chattanooga are riding on a hot streak. They needed to bounce back after losing to Tormenta. Consider that bounce back achieved. A wonderful game for Chattanooga, a wonderful comeback, has gotten the job done. The final score is 3-2 between these two sides. For our broadcasting crew, I'm Mark Schoenster saying thank you for tuning in for our nightcap tonight. Until next time on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.